Well, after watching this thing, I know why they had to create so much controversy around it off screen as far as Harry Styles and Chris Pine and Florence Pugh beefing with Olivia Wilde. They had to do all of that because this movie's absolutely shit. I'm very disappointed in the fact that this is a thing. I don't know why this had to be created, but don't worry, darling. I'm hoping to save you enough time to just stay at home and miss this entire thing. Here's my review. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Don't Worry Darling, starring Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Olivia Wilde, and was directed by Olivia Wilde. And our story follows Florence Pugh and Harry Styles in this suburban-esque place where essentially they are part of this thing called the Victory Project, where they're living in this suburban neighborhood where families are essentially like old 1950s style. It's a husband and wife type deal where the wife cooks and cleans, stay at home all day, husbands go to work, and it seems to be what we think is just a perfect life for everybody. But it soon turns out that this paradise is more than what we think it is, and we spend the entire movie trying to find out just what the hell is going on. And unfortunately, they take too long to tell us what the fuck is going on, because by the time we know what the hell is going on, nobody cares anymore, because this thing just is a complete waste of time. All right. So, I'm just going to tell you now, this movie's absolutely ass. I'm very frustrated, and I didn't understand why this thing had to be, the trailers were good. At least I thought so, but it's like, when you're watching a trailer and it's good to you the first time, it's like but sometimes the more and more you watch it, you start to point out like a lot more flaws than you saw. That's what this trailer was for me. The more I saw this trailer and the closer we got to this whole thing coming out, I started to get a bad feeling about this thing. And honestly, I'll tell you this. The poorest or the worst part of this movie is Olivia Wilde. And not her acting is okay, I guess, but I'll talk about her character in a second. But her directing is absolutely abysmal. Like, she didn't know what she was doing with this movie. She didn't know where she wanted to go with this movie. Because when I tell you that this movie literally spends an hour, this movie is about 2 hours and 2 minutes. It spends about an hour and 35 minutes just spinning you around in a circle. Literally just spinning you over and over, just sending you in different directions just to make it seem like you're on this mystery trying to figure out what's going on, when really you're just being pointed in a bunch of different directions because she doesn't know where to go with this damn thing. Now, there is a twist in this film, and once we get to the twist, it is an intriguing twist. It's kind of interesting, but it's not enough to save what this movie did. Like, this movie already wasted enough of my time by the time we get to this twist, and I'm ready to go. Florence Pugh, she was ready to check out by like 30 minutes into this thing. Because look, you can literally tell the vibes that this cast is giving off on this screen. It's as if Florence Pugh is literally the best actress working on this set, and she's doing everything she can to salvage this film with this crap material and this garbage directing that Olivia Wilde's doing, and yet she just can't do anything to make this better. Now, granted, her performance is absolutely incredible. Her performance is very good. She's very entertaining throughout the film, but for me, the vibe that I'm getting from Florence Pugh is she is crying for help. She's begging to be taken off this set, to be taken out of this movie, and she's trying her best to run away from all of these characters, but she just can't get away. And it's crazy because Olivia Wilde's character is literally like a person who's trying to keep everything together. She's trying to tell all the women, no, we have to stay here, we have to follow the rules, we have to do this, that, and third. And it's as if that's how she was directing. She was telling these people, no, we have to do it this way, this, that, and the third, and you guys have to do it my way or the highway, and blah, and nobody's having a good time, man. Now, granted, Harry Styles' acting wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought a lot of people hyped it up, and I thought he was just going to be absolutely terrible. Granted, there are moments that you laugh at his acting in the movie, and moments that actually require some real acting are kind of laughable when he has to perform them on screen. Like, people in my theater were definitely laughing at certain moments, but his acting wasn't too bad. I mean, it was okay. Granted, I just think all that is just falling back on Olivia Wilde's directing. Like I said, Harry Styles was in Dunkirk, and he worked with Christopher Nolan, the director of all directors, and nobody had a complaint about him in that movie. And honestly, the way people were complaining about Harry Styles made me go back and watch Dunkirk to see if I was missing anything, to see if he really was that bad. No, Olivia Wilde just really is a terrible director. That's the whole thing here. Like, she's just absolutely not doing anything in her power to make this thing make any sense. She's spending the entire movie really trying to make this thing a lot more clever than it is. Like, she's trying to make this thing, she's trying to be David Fincher, and she's really just going more for M. Night Shyamalan. And I'm not talking about the good version of M. Night Shyamalan. I'm talking about the bad version of M. Night Shyamalan. She's really just going for that kind of thing, and it's just not working here. And Florence Pugh is doing everything in her power to just salvage this film, like I said. It's a very talented cast. It is. You got Chris Pine. Gemma Chan is criminally underused, but Chris Pine is good in the film. Like I said, I honestly think he's out of it. I think the way Chris Pine got this hairstyle, I think whatever Olivia Wilde did to this cast, I hope they never have to work with her again, because they all just developed different personalities and went absolutely crazy. Throughout the film, Chris Pine just looks like he's drinking and he's just trying to get through this thing however he can. Everybody seems like they're coping in different ways with trying to work with Olivia Wilde and get off this damn set, because it's just not working at all. This movie is absolutely a roller coaster of just nothingness. It's, like I said, it's sending you in 20 different directions. You're spending the entire movie literally in the same cycle. It's people, the whole thing is like Florence Pugh starts asking questions that don't need to be asked. People are trying to avoid those questions. They send her in a loop, and then the cycle starts all over again. You're literally repeating the same cycle for an hour and 35 minutes of the film until you're introduced into the twist and what's actually going on. And like I said, once we get there, you really don't care about what's going on anymore, man. You really just want to get out of this thing. You really want this movie to be over. And once the credits roll, it's kind of, it was a sigh of relief for me, but at the same time, it's still like, yeah, you made no effort whatsoever to make that a good ending, and you just wanted this thing to end. You didn't know where you wanted this thing to go, so you just needed it to end, and it ended, and that's okay. Granted, I don't know, man. I really didn't like it. I didn't want to go in hating this film. I wanted to be very optimistic about this film, because although I did see like the bad to Rotten Tomatoes scores that it was getting, I was still hopeful for the movie, because like you can get a bad Rotten Tomatoes score and still be somewhat entertaining. I thought this would be at least somewhat, entertaining to a sense. I mean, I can't really call it entertaining, man, because like the characters are just a bunch of babbling idiots other than Florence Pugh. Everybody else is just a bunch of robotic shitheads, and you'll understand why once you see the movie itself. But it's really just a movie where it's doing a lot of unnecessary things to stay relevant. It's trying its best to be clever, to be this David Fincher mystery, when really it's an M. Night Shyamalan roller coaster of just absolute dog shit. And Olivia Wilde just really should not be directing any other movie, man, because it just didn't work out. She really didn't do that good of a job. So overall, guys, look, I feel like this movie simply just had no direction due to the fact that the director didn't know what the hell she was doing. Olivia Wilde, I blame for many of the mishaps in this film, because it's just painfully obvious that she had no idea where she wanted to take this film. Once we get to the twist itself, like I said, it's a very intriguing, interesting twist, but I couldn't find myself to care enough about the twist. And if they would have introduced it maybe like 20 minutes earlier and didn't leave like 20 minutes left in the film after the twist is introduced, maybe I would have cared for it a little more. Maybe we could have got a more interesting film out of this. But like I said, from it, you can kind of call it like 20, no, not 20, maybe like 30 to 40 minutes in, you can kind of call it that she really doesn't know where she wants to take this film, what she wants to do with it, because she's, like I said, she's repeating the same cycle over and over of literally just spinning Florence Pugh around, and she's just asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on. They're throwing her in a circle, and like the movie's progressing, but it's not really doing anything crazy. And that's another thing. Anytime they try to get an explanation out of anybody as to what's going on, for me, for a very long period of the film, I thought we weren't going to get an answer to what's going on, because everybody just kept saying the same thing. We're progressing. What are we doing? Changing the world. What are we doing? Changing the world. Like we were just getting the same answers over and over. We're progressing. We're trying to make things better. Whose world is this? Ours? I didn't know what any of that stuff meant. We're just being spun around in a big circle, but then at some point you actually understand what that stuff means. It's just, this wasn't really that good of a film, man. I was really disappointed by what I saw. Florence Pugh is amazing. Please don't be, misguided. She's an absolutely incredible actress. She always is. Florence Pugh is doing her best, but she is really begging for help in this movie. Like this is one of the biggest SOSs I've ever seen from an actress give in a film before in her life, because she just needs to be saved from whatever the rest of these characters are doing. Harry Styles is okay, not that special. Chris Pine, I think, was drunk for a majority of the film. Gemma Chan just is criminally underused. Nick Kroll's in the film. I thought that was going to be a good choice. Maybe he was going to, do something insane, be good, be useful, but he's really just in the film to be loud. And I love Nick Kroll, but he really had no purpose of being in this movie, guys. And for all those reasons and so many more, man, I'm going to give Don't Worry, Darling a 2. out of 5 stars. All right, so Don't Worry Darling. Look, have you seen it? Please don't, because it's not going to be it's going to be a waste of your time. That's what this movie is. It's a big waste of your time. Trust me. You can wait for it on cable. This is not worth going to see in the theaters, but look, if you have seen it, please be sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Look, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much, guys. This is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.